Let me first begin with explaining our current international time system. Here's our friend, the Sun. With no proper qualifications to say this, I'm just going to say that this celestial gas giant is the basis of most ancient time systems. Anyways, we operate on a system called the Coordinated Universal Time, which is UTC for short, because that makes a lot of sense. The Royal Observatory in Greenwich, which is not Greenwich as I've been informed, is where in 1884 the International Meridian Conference, which consisted of 26 different countries, decided the prime meridian would be set. Because of global trade rapidly expanding throughout the world, the need for a standardized time system was growing very quickly. History up to that point was using the sun as a time reference locally, and that of course differs depending on where you are in the globe. Greenwich was determined to be this reference point for all time zones globally. All time zones kind of have nicknames. Instead of just saying GMT or UTC plus 1, meaning you add an hour to the time it is in Greenwich. Ireland's a good example of this, right? Since it's right next to England. It's UTC plus 1, but they just call it Ireland Standard Time, IST. Regionally, these nicknames can change, right? So for example, there's no UTC minus 1 minus the Portuguese Azores Islands, very specifically in winter, but in Africa, it's Cape Verde time, right? CVT is UTC minus 1. Within America, it looks something like this. We have EST, CST, MST, and PST, which are also UTC minus 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's also worth noting that during daylight savings, this does change. Quick comprehension check. If, hypothetically, you're flying from New York City to Tokyo, and it is noon in Greenwich, right? It would be 7 a.m. in New York City, right? You take noon, subtract 5 from it, it's 7 a.m. And 9 p.m., take noon, add 9 hours, it's 9 p.m. in Tokyo. Now try this one on your own. If you're flying from Bangkok to Guatemala City, you're right or wrong. I don't know. I just want to be an optimist and assume that you can do simple math. If it is noon in Greenwich, it is 6 a.m. in Guatemala City and 7 p.m. in Bangkok at this point. This is how you can quote unquote travel back in time.
Doc, I'm from the future.
Back to our friend the sun. Midday is colloquially referred to as noon, 12 p.m., right? When the sun sets, there's not really a set time for when it happens, and same for the sunrise. In fact, it changes based on the time of the year. We have two solstices, the summer and the winter, which respectively to this definition are the longest and shortest days of the year. We also have equinoxes, which are when day and night are roughly the same amount of time. So we have 24-hour days. The day and the night should roughly be 12 hours each, right? We'll get back to that. So in a winter solstice, the sun may rise at 8 a.m. and set at 5 p.m. I'm completely making these times up. I don't know if this is realistic or not, right? Let's say we have 9 hours of daylight, okay? In a summer solstice, let's say we have 14 hours of daylight. That's a pretty drastic amount of daylight depending on what season it is, right? This is where Swahili time finally comes in. A little more quick background. Africa has hundreds of different tribal groups, Swahili being one of the largest. You may have even heard of it before this video, who knows? They are roughly located around here, primarily in 3 different countries, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. In Swahili time, midday, noon, otherwise called, is called 6 a.m. Why? Because it corresponds with the sunrise and the sunset. Because the Swahili tribe is found near the equator, they don't have solstices the same way we do in the US, right? Their days are more like equinoxes all year. Not obviously constant states of equinox every single day of the year, but it's close enough that the way that they told time pre-colonization and locally was based on 12 hours of day and night because it hardly changed. Swahili time is simply a measurement of how many hours of day and night have elapsed. So, for example, an hour after sunrise is 1 a.m. 4 hours of daylight is 4 a.m. and midday is 6 a.m., right? We have 12 hours of sunlight and 12 hours of night. 10 hours after sunrise, 2 hours before night, is 10 a.m. You can probably see where this is going. You can reverse this for nighttime. 1 hour into night is 1 p.m. 5 hours into night, 5 p.m. Midnight The middle of the night, 6 p.m. Hopefully, this explanation makes sense